corner, watching his mom get fed from behind. He got signed gloves, so he was alright. But he likes to watch his mom get fucked all night. He said, Mama, do you need some lube? Pair of tears on deck, that'll do. Desperate voices from the corner of the room. Oh, we're halfway there. We're gonna use a pair of tears if you like it or not. I don't care.
Panda MMA, bringing punches with the news. Fight breakdowns, every move you don't want to lose. Catch the latest scoop like a hook to the chin.
This is Panda MMA News. And now, here are your hosts, Richard and Taylor.
Guys, we are here with Killjoy and Pendell, the A1 champion, a badass, and we are gracious for our time. But go ahead and take this first question, Taylor.
Yeah, first of all, thanks for hopping on with us, Joy. So let us know, how did you prepare for your recent fight in A1 Combat?
Well, so my personal coach is Daniel Brito, and we've been training together since 2019. And then also my kickboxing coach, my original kickboxing coach, Dion, we've been training off and on together for about 10 years, since the very beginning. But then in June, I went back over to Team Alpha Male at the recommendation of my head coach. He wanted me in an environment where I was really able to train with a team during the morning. Because my current schedule is I'm free during the day, but I own my own gym, so I teach at night. And Brito, we work together one-on-one during the day, but his team trains at night. So it's tough because I don't get a lot of training in with the actual Brito MMA team. And then I'd been going up to Precision Jiu-Jitsu Academy and doing my jiu-jitsu there in the mornings and just doing like some one-on-one MMA spar sessions with some of, the fighters there. But the problem again with the training at Precision for my goals, what I'm trying to accomplish is Precision very much is a jiu-jitsu focused academy, which, jiu-jitsu is my first love, of course, but it's not what I'm pursuing right now. And then Donald Robertson, a DJ, he leads a great Muay Thai program up there at Precision. And again, like I love the Muay Thai, but it's not exactly what, I really need to be doing MMA. And then the Muay Thai classes are in the evening also, so I can't make any of those classes anyway. I can only go to the Saturday spar. So basically, long story short, Team Alpha Male had what I needed. And Brito said, go over there, check in with Uriah, see if it's cool if you train there, and just, start getting your daytime work in over at Team Alpha Male. So I cruised in there at the beginning of June, said, what's up, Uriah? Is it cool if I train here? And of course it was, because, the Team Alpha Male is where I started out back in 2014. So it feels good to be back home, back with the team. It's a really different environment being there as a professional versus back when I was an amateur and just, doing the public classes. It's really different, the actual team practices in the morning, and just really high level, really great stuff. So my normal schedule is I'll go in the morning. I'll do, sometimes there's a wrestling class Monday and Friday mornings that I love to go to, 8:30 to 9:30. Then pro practice, 9:30 to 11. Then I'll work with my personal trainer a couple times a week, like just squeeze in a really quick 30 or 45-minute workout in right after pro practice. And then I'll run over to Brito's. We'll do an hour mid session. Then I'll run home and shower and then run up to my gym and teach. So basically I have no free time whatsoever. It's just train. I'm a full-time martial artist. It's all I do. It's all I want to do. But that was the preparation for this fight, was just my normal schedule of Alpha Male in the morning, personal training, just really working on that strength and conditioning, getting myself as sharp as I can get there. And then just the one-on-one work with Brito and Dion. And Dion's work schedule is all over the place. So whenever he's able to meet with me, we'll squeeze in time together. But and the mental side of things, that was a huge thing preparing for this fight, because this is a rematch. I've already fought this girl twice. Leading up to this fight, I'd already fought this girl twice before. So the mental side of things was the most important, honestly, for this. And I had worked with a sports psychologist a little bit earlier in the year. He's a little expensive, so it's just hard for me to keep going. But I, would write down all the things we would talk about in our sessions, and then just reviewing those notes. And Again, it just, staying focused on myself, staying focused on my performance, not, paying any mind to any outside pressures or expectations. This is about me. And then believing in my skill set and my ability to get in there and execute, believing in my physical durability, believing in my toughness, and then just staying in the moment. We have this huge prefrontal cortex, or whatever you will call it, but that part of our brain that sits there and thinks about everything, and oh, what if this happens, what if that happens, but then this is going to affect that, and blah 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 blah. And it's like you got to shut down all that overthinking nonsense and just stay grounded in that moment. So really honing my mental skills was huge for this fight.
Yeah, it seems like that's a big focus, especially as you get up there into, fighting for championships and moving up in the ranks and things like that. So you just brought up another question for me. With everything you've got going on, how the heck do you start owning a business and running a gym, and what kind of stress or, benefits has that brought on to you? What does that even look like, and how's that happen?
That's a great question. I don't even know the answer to that question. How did it all happen? So back up a little bit. So I grew up in this tiny little town north of Sacramento, right? A little town called Stony Ford, 250 people. My parents are beekeepers, commercial beekeepers. So they have like thousands of beehives, and it's like a commercial apiary. That's what I grew up doing. And then I went to college, got a degree in biochemistry, super random. Went to school for biomed to get a PhD for just a semester. And then I was like, I do not want to sit behind a computer the rest of my life. So went back to the family farm, started working for my folks again, because it's a good business if you get into it. And so I was happy doing bees for, well, right up until 2021. Anyway, so and I would drive 2 hours from Stony Ford down to Sacramento, train, and then drive 2 hours home. So I don't have any kind of sympathy for people who say they don't have time to train. Like, if you care about it, you're just going to find a way to make it happen no matter what. Where there's a will, there's a way. So that was pretty rough, figuring out how to balance being, living 2 hours away from my training, working on a farm, and then, squeezing in my martial arts. Anyway, and then not to get too much into the weeds, but so I had gotten married very briefly in 2020, at the very end of 2020. Unfortunately, 14 months into that marriage, I caught my husband having an affair. So I was like, okay, that's too much too soon. And so we obviously got divorced, and that was the end of that. But we had decided that we were going to open a gym together, and it was with another guy too. Like, the three of us were going to open this gym and do this project. And it was just going to be like a side project for all three of us that we were going to split, and we were all going to still have our normal jobs, our regular jobs, me working the bees and all that. Anyway, but 6 weeks into us opening this gym together, all the three of us, that's when I caught my husband cheating. So I was like, okay, you're out of the business. Goodbye. And it worked out fine because I'm the one that I put my name on everything. I just took care of all the paperwork stuff. So it was only my name on the business license. It was only my name on the lease. I'm the one who invested all the money to buy the equipment anyway. So it wasn't like I screwed him over. It was like I'm the one who invested all the money. So it was fair anyway. And it was easy. So as easy as it can, as easy as a messy situation can be. You know what I'm saying? Anyway. And then the other partner that we had in that business, after that all went down, he was like, well, because he had some work stuff come up, like he got a promotion at work, and so he got a lot busier, and he was like, well, do you just want to take it over? And my whole life had just gotten turned upside down anyway. I had to move, so I was like, screw it. Why not? Everything else is falling apart. Let's just go for it. So I quit my job, moved, right? And then the gym all of a sudden is all mine. It went from, being a three-way partnership side thing to like, this is now what I do. This is the only thing I do. So, but again, life gives you lemons. You got to make lemonade, right? And it ended up being the best lemonade ever. The best possible way to make good out of a bad situation. So, anyway, and so grateful for the community of Willows, California, for coming together and just supporting me, and students signing up at the gym, and just wanting to, like everyone that came to that gym and wanted to be a part of it was really passionate about it and wanted to just help me keep it going. And people volunteering to help me with kids classes. If I get sick or something, people offering to run open mat. I've just had the best group of people at my gym. I'm so like profoundly grateful for them. So, you know, it's somehow all worked out, but, yeah, so I moved to Sacramento. So I live here in North Sacramento, and then I drive an hour north to Willows, teach in the evening, and then, you know, just drive home, and then of course train here during the day. So that's how I juggle everything. And but now that, you know, a couple years have gone by, we just celebrated a little bit early. We celebrated my gym's 3-year anniversary of being open. The actual anniversary is in November, but November's too cold to have a barbecue, so we're just gonna we're just gonna be celebrating our anniversary in September here, I think, from now on. But yeah, just almost coming up on 3 years now, and it's just it's just been such a blessing, such a fortunate thing. And not just the product of my hard work, but the product of the hard work of my students, and just the dedication that my students have, both to me and the gym, but to the craft, and just really getting into the martial arts lifestyle, the jiu-jitsu lifestyle. So it's really cool to see.
Yeah. So I have a 2-part question, but before I get to that, kudos to you. You know, obviously that's a very hard path to go down, but clearly you came out, you know, with something very highly. You got a very good gym going on, and also now you got a very well blooming fight career. You're the champion. But my first question is the shortest one. What is the name of your fight gym, if you don't mind sharing it?
Yeah, it's Willows Jiu-Jitsu and MMA, and if you just put that in Google, it'll pop right up. So that's the gym that I own, teach at. That's my baby. And then the gym that I train at, obviously, Team Alpha Male, everybody knows that one, and then Burrito MMA, which also goes by the name 1,000-Year Warriors. So, like on Instagram, they're 1K Year Warriors. If anybody wants to look up Burrito MMA.
Okay. My next question is, you know, you mentioned Team Alpha Male, and off the top of my head, the first name that comes to my mind for a female fighter at Team Alpha Male is Macy Barber. Have you gotten a chance to train with her and spar with her? And if you have, how have those training sessions gone?
You know, I actually haven't seen Macy at all since I signed up. I don't know if she's taking a little bit of a break right now, or if maybe she's just not doing the morning practices. But I haven't seen her face in practice, not one time. So I don't know what's going on with Macy, but I'm excited to be able to get some training in with her, because yeah, she's just one weight class smaller than me, and obviously she's really high level. So I would love to train with her. I'm really looking forward to that. But another woman who's there at the gym is Maritza Sanchez, and she's my absolute favorite training partner at the gym. She's a 125er, you know, fights for Combates. She'll be getting the title shot here for Combates really soon. I think she's #1 contender right now. But yeah, she's so cool and just great technique, and we just get fantastic working together. And then you know, Corey McKenna is there, and then who's oh gosh, I'm blanking on her name. But she just got signed for Invicta. A Brazilian, Tina Black. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking of. And she's really small. I think she's a 15er. But man, she throws heavy hands, and she's really game to just get in there and get it. Like, she's not scared of me, even though I'm like 30 pounds bigger than her. She's not scared of me. She just gets right in there and bangs. So it's really cool. She's a really fun spar too. But yeah, unfortunately, there's not too many women at the gym, but that's just how it is. It's fine. But then Team Alpha Male has a lot of those bantamweight and flyweight guys, and so those are really good. They all make really good training partners for me.
I'm sure it's fireworks in there. Hey, of all your fights so far, which one's been the most memorable for you, and why?
Ooh, man, that's a hard one. Most memorable. Well, I mean, probably this last one's going to be the most memorable, because it is my first professional title, and it is the rematch, and so of course I'm feeling very justified to, you know, correct a loss on my record. Yeah, probably this last one, you know. And one thing I want to say about rematches in general, I've had several rematches in jiu-jitsu, And I tend to do really well in rematches, especially if the first one I lost, you know, because then that second time going in, I have more information and I have a lot more determination to just, I mean, I'm always determined, but it's a different kind of determination when you're trying to, you know, prove something or trying to correct something. But yeah, you know, the thing with Carlene is I am so much, look, I'm not trying to be mean here, but I'm just going to say it. I am so much better as a martial artist. And especially as a grappler, like obviously, which, you know, makes it hilarious that, you know, how our second fight went, how I just completely goofed up, like way overcommitted on a throw that was not there. And then she just slips on my back in a wonderful moment of brilliance for her and a terrible moment for me, and just catches me and just chokes me out. It's crazy. But the thing is, like, look, like one moment in time does not define you, you know, it's everything altogether. And no, I am like a completely way dominant superior grappler, but just a superior martial artist in all ways. And so it felt good to get in there and prove that it's not just talk. It's not just something I'm, you know, just putting out there trying to pump myself up. No, I'm better. I'm simply better. Especially, you know, I'm better. I'm way better than that girl. And to be able to get in there and just correct that and just make it right, I just, yeah, I feel really justified. And you know, and she's like such a smack talker too, all bad energy and fuck you and my bitch, what bitch, and all that stuff, you know. So it's, to me, it's just yeah, it's just satisfying to, you know, put a bully away.
Yeah, I mean, for sure, that is definitely satisfying, and you know that's got to feel awesome to have someone, you know, talking all that shit, then you get to finally shut them up. You know, I want to leave enough time for us to upload. Unfortunately, today we overstacked ourselves with interviews. But my last question for you before we get to the upload phase is, are you open to, like, you know, like a short notice contender series fight, or would you be open to going like the tough house if that opportunity arose?
Totally. I'm an adventure seeker and I'm down to challenge myself. So I'm down for any opportunities. Also, another unique thing about me is I choose to manage myself. I do not have a manager. I've had several offers of people wanting to manage me, but I prefer to manage myself because, again, look, nobody's getting into that cage except for me. It's my body on the line. It's my health. It's my future. It's my everything. And, you know, I don't feel like anyone is going to do a better job finding me fights or managing me or looking out for my own best interests. Nobody's going to do as good a job as I'm going to do. So, so yeah, I'm here. Anytime anybody wants to give me that phone call, I'm here to discuss those opportunities. And but more than that, it's just continuing to grow myself. You know, I have a list of girls I want to fight that I believe are good matchups for me at this point in my career, and I'm just trying to get fight after fight after fight and just improve, because obviously there's a lot of improvements I need to make. And my goal, I want to get into the UFC, and then once I'm in the UFC, I want to go for broke, go for everything. So I need to increase my skill set. I need to build myself to the point that I'm able to take on anybody in the world. And I have full faith in myself that I'm going to get there and that I'm able to get there. I just got to keep working on down that path. So I don't want to take any stupid, totally risky matchups yet. But as I progress and as I get better, eventually no one's going to be a stupid or risky matchup. Eventually I'm going to be capable of facing anybody. But yeah, right now I have my list, and then I just want to work through that list and just get tougher and tougher opponents every time.
Yeah, you just keep preparing and working on yourself, but absolutely, without risk there's no reward, right? And so sometimes you do have to take that leap of faith and gamble on your skills and your mentality and what you know you can bring to the table to show the world what you have to offer.
Yeah, and like I said before, I can't thank you enough for your time. We really appreciate it. I wish you know, we didn't have another interview coming up here shortly, because I would love to sit here and chat all day. You're very fascinating. There's a lot of cool stories I feel like we get from you. But until you know, well, maybe we'll do this again. We really appreciate your time. Thank you so much for coming. And after this, if you could just stick around for a few seconds just so your site could upload, we'd very much appreciate it.
Absolutely. And thank you guys for your time too. This has been great.
Thank
Thanks,
you.
Joy.
We can't wait to hear about your next fight. You are a absolute hero, and it's very inspirational just to hear all the hurdles you've had to overcome, and here you are, the champion.
Thank you. Appreciate you guys.
All right, guys, we are here with Terrance Wrong Turn Saeteurn.
Terrance, where does Wrong Turn come from, man? How does that become the fight name?
I got the nickname Wrong Turn after my second amateur fight. My coaches and I were at Hooters eating
Sounds like
chicken
a wrong
wings.
turn.
Yeah, eating chicken wings and drinking beer. And it was when Max Holloway fought Brian Ortega. And we're sitting there eating wings and drinking some beer. And my coach, Sonny, looks over at me and he's like, Wrong turn. And I was like, what are you talking about? And then he's like, that's you, man. Whenever somebody takes a fight with you, they made the wrong turn. It's like when you type in your a GPS on your phone and then it like kind of takes you to the wrong place and you hit the wrong turn and you see a bunch of people hanging outside drinking 40s and there's that one person that is mean mugging the car as you're driving past. That's you're that guy. And I was like, oh, okay. And it kind of just stuck ever since.
Well, before I get to my question, just so we can get the proper shout outs, what gym do you train out of?
I train out of Train for Life in Sassoon City. The fight team is called Nobody MMA, but the gym is called Train for
Oh,
Life.
dude, Blake Perry.
Yeah, Blake Perry.
Yeah, me and Blake
We
are
just had him
teammates.
on.
Yeah.
Dude, Blake's hella cool, dude. Well, shit. Now I'm even more excited for this interview. I didn't realize that you train with Blake.
Yeah, man, that fool's like my best friend, bro. Like, yeah, it's my teammate, good friend.
It's because you're muted. Sorry, my buddy here is having audio issues.
Oh, no worries.
No, he's Blake's hella cool, dude. I actually thoroughly enjoyed our interview. But my next question is, can you kind of walk us through your fight and how you executed your game plan?
This last one?
Yeah.
Yeah, so went out there, met in the circle, and the game plan was to kick his legs. He has some skinny ass legs, so we wanted to take some air out them tires. And I started off with a leg kick, and then I want to say like the first exchange that we got into, I fucking hit him with like all three punches, and it like sat him down. And I was like, oh shit, nice. And I went to try to go finish him, and that dude's tough, man. Carlos is a fucking dog, dude. Any other person, I feel like any other person that took those shots probably would have been out or would not have gotten up. So definitely credit to Carlos, and so definitely wanted to kick the legs. So I started off a little early, kicking the legs, and then I wanted to go down to the body because he looked kind of skinny. So I wanted to test his body, and then um yeah, man, I just remember almost, if not everything, almost everything. I'd say like 90% of the shots that I threw were just fucking landing, man, and I just felt like I couldn't miss. And going into after the first round ended, we got to the corner, and then my Coach Sonny was like, all right, slow down, breathe, because the pace that I set was like really high. And he's like, bro, breathe, Terrance. And I was like, okay. And yeah, he said he called out one of the combos. He's like, when we start off, throw this combo. And I sent it, and it landed. And yeah, I wanted to mix it up. So I'm like, okay, so I'm gonna look to take him down. Like, I had a couple of chances to take him down in the first round, but I just didn't. And I caught a kick, and then I took him down, and he gave up his back. And once he gave up his back, I took his back, and I wasn't even really like looking for the choke. Like, I just threatened it, and when I threatened it, my arm sunk underneath his chin, and I was like, "Oh fuck, nice, okay." And then I started to try to get my grips, and then once I connected my hands, or I got the RNC grip, I was like, "Oh, dude, it's fucking in," and I just squeezed, and then yeah, he tapped, and bro, I got up, and then there were so many people there for me, and like I remember yelling and celebrating. And then Sonny came in with all my other coaches, and then he gave me a big ass hug. And then I was like, holy fucking shit, coach. I just fucking did that. I just fucking did that, coach. And he's like, bro, yeah, you fucking did. And then, yeah, man. So that's what happened.
Okay, so didn't you guys just have a teammate win in Chicago?
Yeah, that was the day after. Blake was actually out there. Was it you guys
Yeah,
that
that's when
he?
we talked to him.
Yeah. Yeah, he fought. So I fought Friday night, and then Andrew fought Saturday night for Maximus MMA, and he actually won. He actually won their title out there. So that was cool, man.
Yeah, that's what I'm seeing. It's like, seems like you guys are all doing impressive things. The culture is really good over there with Nobody MMA, and you guys just have this kind of like almost like an underdog mentality everywhere you guys go. It's like nobody. It's just like your name, Nobody MMA. No one's really thinking much of you guys when you go out there, and then you guys put it on a show, and then you just upset the crowd favorite. And so what's it like training over there, dude? I mean, it just sounds like a great place to be.
Yeah, training over there is great, man. The team is filled with my brothers, man, and everybody has the same goals and everybody holds each other accountable. The coaching staff is great. Coach Sonny does a really good job helping us plan out our fight camps and structuring our practices for the specific person that is fighting. So, like, if I was fighting and all the guys are at practice, he structures the practice for me, tailored for me, and then everybody just works what my game plan is. So that way everybody's kind of caught up to speed, and when they come out and they come out to go watch the fights, they know what the plan is. They know what the calls are and everything. And like I said, man, it's like a brotherhood, dude. Like I love those guys, and I wouldn't want to be. I would never want to be on any other team. And I think that the atmosphere at practice, is always great when somebody's feeling kind of down. Everybody else is there to let them know, like, bro, you're doing fine, man. Just fucking keep your head up and let's fucking go. Let's work, man. It's time to work. And yeah, man, it's great.
Well, shoot, dude. I mean, you're not too far from us. We're over here in Modesto, so we're
Oh,
not too
okay,
far at all.
okay.
So we're trying to plan a live podcast with Blake Perry. I think whenever we plan this out, maybe you need to come down with him and we get a live podcast in and go grab some drinks after.
Hell yeah,
Um,
that sounds fun as fuck, bro. I'm down.
Hell yeah. But that's not my main question. My main question is, we know you're the champion. We know you got that belt. What are your immediate plans following this victory? Do you have a name in mind that you're looking to maybe defend on? Is anyone calling you out?
No, nobody's called me out. If they did, I mean, I would never say no. And I'm just I'm just trying to heal up right now. I kind of busted up my leg and my ankle in this last fight, and I'm actually about to start training again this week coming up. And I'm gonna slowly get into it, man, because I feel like there's been fights before where I've tried to just jump back into training, and like I would fucking get sick, and like it would just kind of prolong the process of me finally coming back in and being able to hit the ground running. So I'm gonna take my time with this as far as like ramping up the intensity of training, and then like decreasing some of the sessions that I've been doing, because like this past fight camp I would have like 6 different sessions in a day, and I would teach on top of that, and it was a lot, man. So I'm just gonna slowly work my way back in, and if I get a call, hopefully I get a call for Dana White's Contender Series soon. If not, then whoever the fuck wants to run my fade, and whoever thinks that they can fucking take this belt from me, then they can fucking get it.
Yeah, dude. I'm interrupting this question. I just wanted to say I follow DWCS religiously,
Uh,
and I would love to see you on there. One of our locals here in California. I would kill to see that. But going to ask your question, I didn't mean to interrupt. I just had to say that.
No, you're good, brother. Um, Dude, so is there anybody in your guys' gym right now that is competing UFC?
Not in the UFC, no. None of us. We're a small gym, man. None of us have made it to the big show yet, but I personally feel like some of us are right there, man. Myself included. I think that we're a lot closer than people think, and we're fucking ready, dude. So if we ever get the call, we're ready to go.
Yeah, I believe that. Would you consider yourself more of a stand-up or a ground fighter, or are you pretty neutral?
I would like to think that I'm pretty neutral, man. I'm not great at one specific thing, but I am really good at listening to my coaches and trusting my technique, and then believing in myself and tying things together, and adjusting on the fly. So I wouldn't necessarily say that I'm a striker. Like there's a lot I've had plenty of interviews where people are like, "Oh, you're a striker. Like you are a striker." And I'm like, I thank you, but I mean, I never said that. I've never said that in an interview. But so whenever people ask me like, what style do I fight, I just like to say that I'm a freestyle fighter, man. I like to do everything. I like to strike. I like to grapple. I like clinching. That's the reason why I fight MMA. If I wanted to be a straight up striker, I would be training for, like a Muay Thai fight or like a boxing fight. I wouldn't be trying to fucking be an MMA fighter.
What came first for you though? Like, where did it start?
Wrestling. I started wrestling when I was 9 years old, and a little bit after, probably like a couple of weeks after, I watched my very first UFC fight, and I thought it was the coolest thing ever. And I remember I told myself like when I was 9, I'm like, dude, I want to do that when I get older. And when I turned 23, I was going through some personal things, and I felt like I was going crazy. I felt like I was gonna do something crazy that was gonna get me in hella trouble. So I was like, dude, if I don't do this shit now, man, I'm never gonna do it. And I don't want to be like 40, 50 years old talking about like, oh yeah, I used to wrestle, and just reminiscing on my high school days, and like that's like the pinnacle of my athletic career. And to be honest with you, man, like when I'm around people now, and like guys are in their late 30s, late 40s, and they're like, "Oh yeah, I used to wrestle," and then that's all that they can relate to you by, and it's just like, dude, like that ship has fucking sailed long ago, man. Like you need to make peace with that, man. And so yeah, like I just felt like if I wasn't gonna do it then I was just never gonna do it, and I didn't want to live with that regret of not knowing how could have how far I could have gone if I would have done it. So yeah, I started training mixed martial arts and like boxing, kickboxing, jujitsu when I was 23. April of 2018. I was 23.
Well, shoot, dude. I've thoroughly enjoyed this time, and yeah, whenever we get this set up with Blake Perry to come out in person, we'd love to have you out, dude. Do a live podcast, go grab some drinks after. I'm a big fan. I can't wait to see what's next. I just want to give us enough time to upload after, so we have that beautiful 4K quality. But we thoroughly appreciate your time, my man. And if you could just stay on just a few seconds after, just to finish the upload.
Thanks, brother.
Yeah, man, no worries.
All right, man. Have a good one. All right, guys. We are here with the legendary Keith, the rock star Richardson. Go ahead and take the first question.
Hey, man. Thanks for hopping on with us. So you just had a fight in BKFC, and you lost the bantamweight title. I thought you looked really good in that fight. Like, what do you like looking back on it? Was there something you feel like you could have done better in preparation, or was there something that maybe surprised you about your opponent that you weren't expecting in some of those exchanges?
It wasn't even really a preparation issue. I always train hard. I'm always ready to fight. I think the big thing the big mistake I made was generally usually I don't chase, I hunt. I let the emotion, fighting in his hometown, the fact that, he was, kind of a dick, get the, you know, get in my head, like, you know, like I've had over 40 something fights. That's the first time I ever had to push somebody at weigh-ins and stuff like that. You know, so I got a little over aggressive. Like, you know, like I hit him a couple times, and like I could tell he just definitely wasn't enjoying the power, wasn't enjoying the feel. And then like I just remember like right before I got clipped with the shot, thinking like, I got you, motherfucker. And like, yeah, got a little over aggressive through a big punch that just missed, and then like, you know, got clipped. Yeah, generally, especially like, you know, generally I like to hunt, not chase it, and like let it like you'll generally find the knockout instead of going to look for it. Like the same thing happened to me when I fought Scoggins. As soon as I dropped him, I got over aggressive, and then I got dropped myself. Like when I specifically remember when I fought Reggie Barnett for the world title, that like after I dropped him, I immediately relaxed, like took a step back, and just like kind of flowed. I was like, you know, all right, you got one now, the other ones will come. Just just be calm. So I think I just got a little bit over aggressive. I got my blood. Let my blood kind of boil over a little bit too much.
Yeah, man. This is a two-part question. So when you say he was a dick, was he kind of like a Conor McGregor? You know, he was cucking from the corner talking shit, and that's what kind of pushed you over the edge.
Yeah, like, you know, like, yeah, the whole time, like, you know, like just like even before he was named my opponent, like, you know, I was at one of the fights. It was like when Reaver and Perez fought. Like I was there, like, you know, just promoting, walking around the belt, like, you know, like he had just fought, and I came up, like, you know, he won, came up to like, you know, congratulate him, and he started getting in my face and like, you know, put his hands on me. I'm like, yeah, like just like stuff like that, like, you know, like, yeah, I didn't understand a lot of what he was saying because my Spanish is rather poor, but yeah, which I remember at the press conference, he got mad because I was like, because I was like, can somebody translate? Because I don't have Google Translate on, you know, because he like was saying, didn't know what he was saying. But.
Yeah, I mean, you know, it sucks when you see that. You know, obviously, I'm not a fighter. I don't know if you can tell my current form. You know, I know I'm built like a Greek god, but you know, it just sucks when you're dealing with people who don't have sportsmanship like that, and they just feel the need to act like a complete prick. Yeah, I get you're trying to build a name and trying to get people excited, but at the same time, you know, you're putting your hands on someone that when it's not sanctioned, you're not getting paid. But my actual question is, you know, you fought in various promotions like XFC, Icon FC, Fight Lab, and LFA. How do those experiences compare to fighting in a BKFC?
Like generally, I'll try to block out like all the atmosphere, because at the end of the day, fighting's fighting. Like, you know, especially like as the fight like goes down, like the world shrinks, and the only thing that you see is that son of a bitch in front of you. Like, you know, so like I try, like, you know, and I enjoy the great atmosphere and stuff like that. You know, like yeah, because he's just blown up. Like, you know, the fights are insane and stuff like that. You know, I fought on like Bellator and stuff like that. Like it's but BKFC definitely has a different energy at the events and stuff like that. Like one, just like the pacing of the show, like it just like the events are like fly by. And like, you know, it's perfect for like this generation that doesn't have an attention span, because it's just like boom, 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 boom. Like, and it's just like, you know, there's a little bit more blood. There's a little bit like, there's like more knockouts. Like it's just, there's a little bit more, like there's just a different energy in the building. That you can definitely sense and pick up on. Like in a lot of fighters, if they're not seasoned, and if they don't like control it, like, you know, that in that fight, like in the Blas fight, I was guilty of it. Like, you know, sometimes it'll get the better of you, and you know, you got to turn a fight where you can tactically win into a brawl where, like, you know, anybody, you know, live by the sword, die by the sword. So, like, a lot of times in those bare knuckle fights, it's about trying to temper your bloodlust, I guess.
Keith, where are you from?
Originally New York, Long Island, New York, but I've lived down south since I was like 16. So I'm like 50-50 Yankee redneck at this point.
Like down south, like Tennessee or Texas?
South Carolina.
Okay.
Moved from Long Island, New York to York, South Carolina. And then now I've been in Rock Hill for a long time.
Where does combat sports come in for you? How does that all start?
I was a state champ wrestler in high school. Turned down a wrestling scholarship to go to the Marine Corps. Did some pretty heavy combat tours, and then when I got out, I was having PTSD issues. Like I was a fan of the Ultimate Fighter. I'd watched I actually watched was able to see like an episode or two on like satellite television when I was in Iraq, and I was like, wow, that's really cool. So just like walked into a gym, I thought I was going to be Johnny Big Dong, and then got my butt kicked. I was like, I just got like tapped out a bunch of times. I thought I was going to automatically be able to kill it because I was a wrestler. Got my butt kicked, and then I was like, I love this. I got to learn it so I can beat it. And just haven't stopped since. I think I've been training almost every day, since I started practically.
Yeah. So when I said earlier that you could knock me out, you could actually unalive me in reality.
But I've done every type of combat warfare, imaginable at this point. I used to be a bail bondsman, bounty hunter,
Oh, you're on the straight Rocky tour.
You're repoing cars and stuff then, huh? No, that's I'm thinking of the dog, the bounty hunter. Never mind.
Yeah, I don't know where the fuck you got repoing cars, but
bail bond's totally different thing.
Excuse him. He's a silly guy.
Hey, I grew up in a small town, Keith.
But
I barely learned how to read like a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, you still can't read. But my main question is, what does your typical training day look like? Can you run us through the drills and how often you're sparring and all that kind of thing?
Generally, especially with me being an older fighter, me being seasoned, I don't have to hard spar a ton. A lot of times, younger fighters and stuff like that, a good amount of sparring is good to get them used to being under gunfire, extreme situations and stuff like that. I know how I react in a fight. I know, but I still will hard spar 1 to 2 days a week. Because I own my own gym and I'm the head coach there, so I run a lot of my training. I've got my assistant coaches that will help coach me. But and this part of the reason why I think I've had such longevity in this sport is because I'm 40 years old. Most guys, especially in my weight class, have been retired for six years by now, and I've had some of the best years of my career just lately. Because I'm constantly training. Generally, I'm training 6 to 7 days a week. I'll do some private instruction with right now I'm working with Tony Soto a lot for his upcoming title fight in Spain. So I'll do some private sessions. Then I've got my regular classes that I run. Generally, I'm in the if I do some strength conditioning beforehand, I'll do some strength training at about 3:30, 4 o'clock. I'll get to my gym about 5, and then I'm in there training and coaching until about 10, and then just rinse, repeat, and do it the next day.
How long have you owned that gym?
I've owned my gym for about I think we opened in 2012.
Okay, and what kind of challenges have you experienced that maybe you didn't expect owning a gym and also, being a competitor at the same time?
Yeah, that was definitely, especially early on, I was still finding myself as a coach, and like, you know, trying to rise as a fighter. Like, you know, it was hard to find balance. But you know, coaching, like, because I actually didn't even want to open up a gym at first. Like my partner at the time, like, you know, my best friend, like, he wanted to wanted to open up a gym, and like initially it was supposed to be like, yeah, he'd do most of the coaching, I'd promote the gym through my fighting, and like teach a little bit on the, like, you know, teach a couple of classes or something like that. And it kind of immediately switched. I was like, you know, I was teaching all the time, but I fell in love with it. Like, you know, I get more excitement, like, because I just had, like, you know, just yesterday I had 8 guys fighting on one card. That's why I'm a little hoarse and exhausted. But like, I get more joy. I get way more nervous when they fight. You know, it's just some, like finding the best way to train yourself, and, like, you know, and keep them training, and, like, you know, making sure that they get everything they need. Especially like I've figured out a way to use their training to train myself and stuff like that. Plus just like the mass quantity of training I do. And plus it also helps with my fight IQ, because I've got to switch styles, like, to show, like, you know, their opponent. I've got like maybe one guy fighting kickboxing, one guy like getting ready for a grappling tournament, one guy getting ready for an MMA fight. So like it keeps my like, it just allows me to like constantly switch up, like, and it just it's part of the reason why I think I've got like such high fight IQ. You know, and like the reason why I'm one of the best switch stance fighters in the bare-knuckle game.
So, you know, you're the second BKFC fighter we interviewed. We also interviewed Matthew Chuck. So maybe between you two, you know, you guys hit hard enough. Maybe you guys can knock my hairline back in place. But, but you know, how would you describe your fighting style? Are you more like offensive or defensive?
I would say I'm offensive, but it's just like a steady pressure. Like, you know, I'm just constantly walking you down, changing angles, and then just waiting for those perfect opportunities. Like, it's weird, like, because, like, you know, I had 35 professional MMA fights before I started fighting bare knuckle. In my whole MMA career, I was known as a submission fighter. And then as soon as I went to bare knuckle, I had the fight of the year with Scoggins, but then it was three or four straight knockouts to the world title. So, like, but you know, I'm just constantly in your face. Like, I'm always looking to finish a fight. Like, if it goes the distance, nothing was settled in my book.
Yeah, I can understand that. The thought just kind of crossed my mind, but you'd said that you get more nerves whenever your fighters go out and compete. Do you think that's because ultimately when they go in there, there's not anything really necessarily that you can control at that point? It's in the hands of the fighter. Whereas when you go into there, you know, you can dictate the pace and the fight and the IQ. Do you think that's where it comes from?
Oh, absolutely. Like, yeah, I've got little to no control, and I could just shout stuff out and hope they listen. Just scream myself hoarse. You know, like, you know, you get, like, I can smack them up when I actually get into the corner, but when they're in there, like, it's, you know, it's their show, it's their, like, you know, it's you know, like, their job. Like, hopefully they listen. Like, you know, but I understand it. Like, it's a hard thing to do. Like, somebody's punching you in the face, and you gotta, like, you gotta let somebody else take over the steering wheel. It's not an easy thing to do. Like, you know, so I understand, like, when they don't, but when they do, and it's like playing a video game, it's awesome, and like it almost always works out in their favor. So it's just like building up that level of trust. Like, you know, you have to, but otherwise, I'm just hoping and praying that they listen.
Well, shoot, man, you know, I appreciate your time so much. It's an honor to get to talk to, you know, a champion such as yourself, and someone who has been just, you know, through the ringer when it comes to the combat world. And it's, maybe one of these days, like I said, maybe we can meet up. You can smack my hairline back in place so I can have a full head of hair like you two guys, and I can be part of the club.
It's starting to thin a little bit. Unfortunately, I got my dad's hairline.
Yeah, I got my dad's hairline a little too early because he's still not bald, and here I am. But no, we really appreciate your time, dude. I'm gonna tag your Instagram in this, and I'm gonna tag you to collab and everything. But is there any other social media that you want to tag in this?
No, like I do most of my stuff on Instagram and stuff like that. I'm not really on the X too much.
Okay, makes sense. Well, X is full of a bunch of it's a cesspool of a bunch of virgins that have opinions. So
Yep.
But yeah, no, man, I appreciate your time, and I can't thank you enough for hopping on here. I can't wait to hear what's next. Before we get off, is there an idea of a timeline where we might see you back in the that squared circle?
Hopefully as soon as possible. Like, I hate downtime, and like I'm hoping November, December, but I'd take tomorrow if they offered it. I'm looking to get back in there real soon, because I went from 4 fights in 10 months to having to wait 9 months to defend, and now it's been 3 or 4 months, But I think I'm should have news pretty soon.
Yeah, dude, you need that paycheck, baby. We need to get that going. Yeah. We need that Vegas day. That Vegas day.
Mm-hmm. If I don't punch people in the face, I don't get paid.
Hey, like I said, you knock this hairline back in place, dude. I'm willing to pay. We'll figure it out. You got something to say? You got your finger on the button.
Oh no, yeah. I was just gonna say thanks for hopping on with us, Keith. And I was hearing a noise in the background. You got a husky?
No, I got a little part Dotson, like part Jack Russell or something like that. But I locked him in the Harry Potter closet right now because he always, as soon as I get on a podcast, he starts jumping on me and starts barking like he gets jealous.
I thought I was hearing the howls of a husky, so I had to ask because we got one in this.
Yeah, that's why he's asking.
Oh, yeah. My mama owns a rescue.
They're good dogs.
Oh yeah, no, although they can be high energy and they're definitely needy huskies.
Furry as hell too, because I just picked her up and now I'm covered. But yeah, man, like I said, I appreciate your time. If you could just stay on with us just for a second so we can finish the upload on your side, we'd appreciate it. But yeah, man, maybe once we get some news about the next fight, we can get you back on before or after that fight.
Sounds good. Absolutely.
You're the man, dude. Thank you.
Yep.